The siren wailed behind me like a scream in the dark, and as I pulled over on that lonely Chicago highway, my pulse quickened with a familiar dread. The officer strode up, flashlight blinding, and when it landed on my face, my beard, my kufi cap from prayers, his hands snapped to his gun. "Out of the car! Hands up!" he shouted, drawing the weapon in a flash, the barrel pointed at my heart as if I were the embodiment of every fear he'd ever harbored. In that heart-stopping instant, terror flooded me. Not just for my safety, but for the revelation hovering like a storm cloud, ready to burst and expose the truth he never saw coming, a truth that would force him to reckon with his prejudice and see me for who I truly am. My name is Ahmed Khalil, and that night tested every fiber of my being, every lesson of patience and strength I'd learned over my 42 years in this country. I was born in Egypt, but my parents brought me to America when I was 5, seeking a better life in the land of opportunity. We settled in a modest apartment in Detroit, where my father worked long hours as a mechanic, and my mother sewed clothes for neighbors to make ends meet. They taught me the values of Islam: compassion, honesty, perseverance, whispering stories of prophets who faced trials with unyielding faith. "Ahmed, this world may judge you by your appearance," my father would say, his calloused hands resting on my shoulder, "but Allah judges by your heart. Always choose kindness." Growing up, I felt the sting of being different early on. In elementary school, kids teased me for my lunch of falafel and hummus, calling it weird food. And after the Gulf War news cycles, some whispered terrorist behind my back. I remember one boy, Tommy, pushing me on the playground, yelling that I didn't belong. Tears burned my eyes, but I didn't fight back. Instead, I helped him with his math homework the next day, and slowly we became friends. That small victory shaped me. I learned that dignity could disarm hate. High school was tougher. Post 9/11, the air thickened with suspicion. Teachers pulled me aside for talks. Classmates avoided group projects with me. But I buried myself in books, excelling in science, dreaming of becoming a doctor to heal the divides I saw around me. I volunteered at local clinics, assisting nurses with basic care, feeling the gratitude of patients who saw beyond my name. College at the University of Michigan was a whirlwind of discovery and challenge. I majored in biology, pulling all-nighters in the lab, dissecting specimens under fluorescent lights that buzzed like persistent doubts. It was there I met Layla in a crowded lecture hall during a history elective. She sat 2 rows ahead, her notes meticulous, her hijab a vibrant splash of color. After class, we debated the lecture over coffee in the student union, the steam rising like our budding connection. "You're passionate about healing, Ahmed. That's rare." We dated through undergrad, supporting each other, her pursuing education, me medicine. Our wedding was simple, in a mosque, surrounded by family, the air filled with jasmine and recited blessings. Lila became my anchor, her teaching career inspiring me to mentor young residents. Medical school tested my resolution like nothing else. The cadaver labs, the endless rotations, nights in emergency rooms, stitching wounds, comforting families. Some attendings were supportive, like Dr. Patel, who shared stories of his own immigrant journey. Others eyed me warily during global news events, questioning my focus. "Stay sharp, Khalil," one said after a tense shift, implying more than fatigue. I graduated top of my class, matching to residency in Chicago's bustling hospitals. There I specialized in cardiothoracic surgery, drawn to the heart's symbolism, center of life, emotion, faith. My first solo operation was on a child with a congenital defect. As I closed the incision, the monitor's steady beep was music, the parents' tears of joy my reward. Life in Chicago bloomed. We bought a home in the suburbs, a 2-story with a garden where Layla planted roses. Sarah arrived first, her cries filling the house with new purpose. She grew into a creative soul, drawing murals of unity on her bedroom walls. Omar followed, energetic and curious, always dismantling toys to fix them. Family dinners were sacred. Lila's eggplant moussaka, stories shared around the table. "Tell us about your day, Bubba," Omar would beg. I'd describe surgeries without details, focusing on hope, but I shielded them from the shadows. The airport pat-downs, the store clerks hovering. "The world is beautiful, but complex," I'd say during bedtime prayers. My career advanced. I became lead surgeon at Mercy Hospital, publishing papers on minimally invasive techniques. Patients from all walks trusted me. One, a firefighter, gripped my hand post-bypass. "You gave me a second chance, Doc." Beyond the OR, I volunteered with the FBI, advising on community engagement. "Building trust prevents conflict," I'd explain in briefings, drawing from personal experiences. I trained officers on cultural nuances, hoping to avert misunderstandings. The mayor's team recruited me for emergency planning, my expertise vital in drills. These roles were fulfilling, though kept low-key to avoid attention. That night, exhaustion weighed heavy after a 14-hour shift. The patient was elderly, her valve replacement a success despite complications. "Thank you, Dr. Cleel," her daughter said, hugging me in the hallway. I changed in the locker room, the fluorescent hum echoing my fatigue. Driving home, the highway was empty, streetlights casting long shadows. NPR played softly, a podcast on resilience. When the patrol car lit up, I checked my speed. Fine. Tail light? I pulled over, windows down, hands on wheel. Officer Ramirez approached, flashlight sweeping. "Evening. License and registration." His tone was neutral at first, but as he saw me, beard, cap, it shifted. "Step out." I obeyed slowly. "Problem, officer?" "Routine stop," he said, but his hand lingered on his holster. When I mentioned work, he scoffed. Doctor, huh? Open the trunk." Inside, medical bag, journals, but he spotted prayer beads. "What's this for?" "Remembrance," I said calmly. Tension built. When I shifted from my phone, he drew. "Freeze!" The gun aimed steady, my world narrowing to that barrel. Fear gripped, visions of family, unfinished surgeries. "Please, I'm no threat." Backup came. Jenkins, calmer. They cuffed me, searched. Waiting, I reflected on a recent workshop. See the human first. The radio response shattered the moment. "Dr. Khalil, cleared. Key asset. Surgeon, FBI advisor. Save Chief's daughter." Ramirez blanched. "You're him?" Truth revealed, he apologized profusely. His "I misjudged." I nodded. Learn from it. Driving home, emotions churned. Relief, sorrow. Layla held me tight. Alhamdulillah. Kids hugged, sensing upset. Aftermath brought change. Department reforms. My talks amplified. Ramirez transformed, attending events. I healed more. Family thrived. In reflection, that night forged me stronger, dignity prevailing. If you found this story inspiring, hit that subscribe button for more tales of resilience and hope. Your support means the world.